GCN Radio Network.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5 Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Coming at you
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
It's a reliable source of information.
Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. We're here live, back Sundays 4 to 6 p.m. On your phone calls here in just a moment. But just briefly getting back to the TSA, and I know I keep repeating this, but I want to be clear. For now almost a month, we've been pointing out that if people start protesting this and saying no, that the TSA will try to fearmonger and further intimidate you, but then they will fold like a house of cards, and it will be yet another example of how the corporate globalist Borg are not invincible, are not unstoppable. And it's now being called in the last week by mainstream news, AP, Reuters, you name it, a grassroots revolt that isn't just about the TSA. It's about people being tired of the government being involved in our lives. And now you've got people protesting the banks. And it transcends left-right. It transcends black-white. It's humans that are sick of being treated like slaves. And that's what scares the system. That's why the right-wing media has been trying to make this all about Obama and Napolitano. And whereas they're unsavory, jackbooted thugs, they are still just front people for the same agenda that's been growing for decades. And that's why the left has been trying to make it about the right wing. This is about the out-of-control military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about and that JFK, a Democrat, warned us about. And once we get past fighting with each other over labels and start talking about common sense, we've got a chance to fix this country. Right now, let's go to your phone calls. Let's talk to Justin in Kansas. Justin, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good, sir. Good to talk to you. What's on your mind?
One thing mainly, my girlfriend works up at the Irwin Army Hospital up at Fort Riley, and she brought me home a document the other day that kind of creeped me out. It's from Admiral Mullen. It's a self-help guide to anti-terrorism, and this is up on their website at the Irwin Army Hospital. And basically, it's a guide to anti-terrorism for the average citizen or soldier. Says this is designed to assist in making you and your family less vulnerable to terrorists. Goes on to say you and your family are a vital yet vulnerable military resource. It just goes on and on about how you go to defend yourself against these invisible terrorists that we have everywhere. And
oh, yeah, it's all about this mental illness that they're just, and I've seen these federal and state training manuals. It's, does your neighbor wear blue jeans? I'm not joking. In Texas, the federal manual said that. Is it a woman with a baby carriage? Do they have a cell phone? Do they have a camera? Are they taking pictures? Do they criticize the government? Do they have gas tanks in their garage? Do they lock their desk? I mean, this is basically they're profiling everyone but the real terrorist who's been caught doing chemical, biological studies on us secretly, who has been caught committing all these crimes. It's the government, but they never have us look at who openly is the most murderous group in history, i.e. governments. Now, slowly, give me the name of the report and the website, because I want to pull this up.
The name of the report is it's the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Guide 5260, a self-help guide to anti-terrorism.
All right, say it slowly. Chairman of the Joint. Oh, there it is. It's the CJCS
Guide.
Yeah, it's the CJCS Guide 5260, Anti-Terrorism, Personal Protection Guide, a self-help guide to anti-terrorism. Let's scroll down. Tell me exactly what it goes through. Give us some of the highlights.
Sure. Well, like in the table of contents here, I mean, it's telling you how to respond to chemical threats, respond to biological threats, how to isolate personal guidance, how to protect your house, personal identification, do not discuss your military affiliation, job titles, or responsibility with strangers. If you're taken hostage, it tells you what to do to survive, preparing your family, staying in control, dealing with your captors, and it just things like that. It just goes on and on and on about invisible threats that, you know, people think that are out there and that have been brainwashed into believing, and it's insane. Of
course, the real threat in Kansas is tornadoes and a tree falling on your house. Why aren't they giving you reports on how to protect yourself from a tornado?
Absolutely. At the very end of the document is a personal data section. It wants you to fill out military member or DOD employee or civilian, your full name, your passport, social security number, your rank, your address, place of birth. At the very end, all the medical problems you may have. At the very end, it says attach 2 photographs, 1 full-length front view, 1 full-length side view. Attach 1 complete fingerprint card. It is also prudent to have audio recording or a DNA sample. So basically, it's a biometric, deal here. They're trying to get information on all of us.
Well, they've admitted that's going to be the new global money is going to be your thumbprint or retina scan. After the private Federal Reserve system globally, the Federal Reserve is just one tentacle or one head of the Hydra. After the private banking system sets up their world government openly, which they're now doing, they have to first then bankrupt all the other currencies. Then they're going to force everyone onto this cashless system, and everything you do is going to be tracked and traced. They're already putting in huge fines for garage sales or selling cupcakes or anything. I mean, just everything must be surveilled. They're turning the world into one giant prison. Justin, I appreciate your call and the points you've made here today. Let's talk to Matt in Minnesota. Matt, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, in regards to the TSA really quick, maybe your awesome InfoWars team can track down this video, but last night Whoopi Goldberg was on Huckabee talking about her book, and Huckabee is kind of talking about TSA, and he's like, hey, listen, I'm concerned about this new TSA stuff. This is like a police state. And Whoopi Goldberg goes, well, yeah, this is a police state, and you should love it. It's just sort of a funny video that I think would be interesting if you guys found it and put it up on InfoWars.
I did actually see that this morning. The Drudge Report, we ought to do a blurb about all of these ditzy people like, who's the big music star who shaved her head and went crazy? Britney Spears. Remember Britney Spears saying, I think we should just do whatever the president says and just shut up and not think? Well, that's like Gloria Allred saying, quote, I like being felt up. So she's saying, women, you should like strangers you don't know grabbing your breast. And they've actually got the video up on Drudge Report. It says, I like being felt up. And TSA boss regrets ABC News staffer getting their underwear searched. So see, just a few weeks ago, they tried to deny the fact that they stick their hands in your underwear. Now that's mainstream news. But we have Gloria Allred, the famous lawyer, who's always about women's rights and women not being touched. But then there's the larger issue. It's now confirmed that they're taking people's children away from them into private areas, even 3-, 4-, 5-year-olds, and strip searching them and touching them. So how do you teach your children, don't let strangers touch you, or don't go alone with somebody you don't know? And now these minimum wage weirdos that went and got the jobs to touch people's genitals, they are now taking your child away from you crying and touching their genitals. Just this morning, I was in there on YouTube watching news clips of this, and my children walked in, and my wife came in and said, you can't watch that. And we had to explain to them, the government's bad. They're wanting to put their hands down your pants just because they heard the news, playing on YouTube. And I shouldn't have to have that discussion with my children that, yes, we've told you, don't let strangers touch you. Don't let anybody stick their hand down your pants. Don't go anywhere with somebody alone. And now just all over the radio, all over the news, it's about the government doing this to them. This is so sick and out of control. But government knows if they can get away with this, they can get away with anything. Go ahead, caller. Finish up your point.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I locally here in Minnesota, I try and call on the radio shows as much as possible, and I think a lot of the people are waking up to this TSA tyranny, and they're standing up against it. Real quick, I had a comment regarding the Geraldo 9/11 stuff. I think that's pretty exciting, and I know you've been on Geraldo's show before. Do you think he would ever come on your show, and do you think there will ever be a Alex Jones, Glenn Beck discussion either on his show or your show? I just feel like it's going to happen someday, and do you ever think that would happen?
Well, I would obviously go on their shows if they invited me. I've been on Geraldo's a few times, and we sat around the office talking about, is he a closet 9/11 truther? But I don't think Beck will probably have me on because he's taken so much of my research and the work we do. He knows that parallel and that connection has been made, and so I don't think Beck, wants to further up my visibility. But it doesn't matter what Glenn Beck does. Glenn Beck, and I'm not saying it's an audience I don't want. I want everybody. I mean, I just get up here and cover the news. I don't sit here and do market analysis of, who we're targeting or who listens. It just so happens we have a very diverse audience, but we have one of the youngest audiences in talk radio. From stations that do get the ratings and look at them, and from the demographics we see online, we have 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right through 100 years old. But we're really strong in the young people and the 18 to 35, the most coveted demographic, and a Glenn Beck isn't. Glenn Beck does a lot of his big speeches at retirement homes, and that's fine. It's just that Glenn Beck is the past. This radio show is the future. But Glenn Beck has been forced to cover more and more hardcore issues to stay relevant because in the past, 15 years ago, the separation between the real world material, the full spectrum breakdown that I'm covering, and the shuttered, condensed spectrum that a leftist or a right-winger covers, those were universes apart. There was a huge gulf. Now the membrane between mainstream media and alternative media is just very, very thin. It's see-through. And so there's an acceleration of mainstream news and media covering the information we cover here. I appreciate your call. But on that subject, I didn't know that my cousin, Buckley, was going to be in town. Buckley Hammond, who was the first guy to ever run my Access TV show. For about a year and a half, I did it on my own. Then Buckley did it for about 2 years. Then Mike Hansen took over for a few years after that and did a great job.